As we have all seen, Concord has officially shut down their servers, and it's only been 2 weeks since the game's released. This may be PlayStation's biggest fumble, and it's quite embarrassing not only for PlayStation, but also for the devs that created the game. With more and more live service games, it feels like stuff is going downhill, and it begs the question if companies should still be making live service games. Every once in a while, there's one that does really, really good, and people actually want to play, but it seems like nowadays people just are not really enjoying the games anymore. Like we see games like Suicide Squad that do not have very many players, and that game has not been out for a terribly long time, especially not for a live service game. And then we see other games succeed, like Helldivers earlier this year was a massive success. It has since fallen off, a bit more, but at the time the numbers were crazy and everyone was playing that game. So I feel like Sony needs to move away from live service games, and I feel like they're kind of getting the hint now that no one wants them, or at least not very many people. I believe it was last year they announced a game called Fairgame that is, yes, another live service game. Basically, Fairgame is a heist game where, you're going in and try to steal money, jewels, gold, whatever it may be. And not only do you have to, plan around security guards and all that stuff, but you're playing against another team who's trying to steal the money or jewels, whatever, before you do. And of course, this is a live service game, so it begs the question of, is Fairgame going to be canceled, or will they go through with it? Because after everything we saw with Concord, from the low peak player count to everyone hating on it online to, it just seems like it's not a great idea for them to keep making live service games, at least if they want to make money and not keep losing money. As I said, Concord was only up for about 2 weeks. That's an embarrassment, especially for how long they were working on it. So it just begs the question if they're actually going to go through with this, because not only is it a live service game, it is also another, I don't want to say woke, but it is essentially kind of a woke game. And now it just seems like people are tired of the wokeness, not just in video games, but just in media in general. As you see, we take games like Dustborn, which was a massive failure, a lot more than Concord was, and that was a single player game. It wasn't even live service. So people are just tired of the woke, unnecessary stuff that they keep putting in all these different media, which if done correctly, I feel like it wouldn't be that bad of an idea. But they just keep doing it in games that A, probably just don't need it, and two, like very cringe ways, where you take a woke character that most people didn't want in the game anyway, and then give them cringy lines or the voice acting of Forspoken.
I just move shit with my freaking mind!
It's just a recipe for disaster. I just don't understand why they keep doing it. And it's not even just Sony, it's just companies across the board. It's just mind-blowing that they see the failures and keep doing it. But the whole point being, will Fairgame actually get released, or will it be canceled? Because at this point, I feel like, no one wants it. They could save themselves so much money and put that into something that people actually want, whether that's another God of War game, or a new Last of Us, or a new Astrobot game, because we see how well that's doing right now. It's massive. It's one of the highest rated games this year and could even be game of the year potentially, or even a new IP. They just need to put the money into something that people want and not another live service game. All the live service games just seem to be a copy and paste of each other at this point. And your live service audience is probably still playing Warzone or something that's already more established, that has, for some reason, such dedicated fans that I just don't think you're going to break into the market. And that's part of the reason why Concord failed. There's already an established market, specifically Overwatch, and then I know there's another game that I think Valve made it. I can't remember I think Valve made it, but I can't remember exactly what it's called. That game's doing pretty decent. I think it's still earlier, it's in the beta or something, but there's already an established market for it. There's no need for any more games like that. PlayStation needs to stick to what they're good at, which is single player story games. Some people call them movie games. Those type of games are PlayStation's bread and butter, where that will make them money. Or even more Astrobot games, like I was saying, they broke out into that recently. Stick to what they're good at, or try something new that isn't a live service game. Maybe that's something people actually want. So we will see what happens. My personal guess is that this game will end up coming out, and it will probably follow the same cycle as Concord, unless there's something very, very different about it. I do not have high hopes, and I know that most other people do not have high hopes for this game as well. So we'll see. And that's all I got for today. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Peace.